I want to think what will actually make the greatest positive impact. I'm not going to live forever. Nobody is, to my knowledge. And I want to leave something great behind, and I want to enjoy the process. So I want to do as little of the things that suck and as many of the things that I love as possible.
Here we go, guys. We've got viral sensation Adam Bobrow on the podcast. Man, it's great to have you on the show.
Thanks. Good to be here. I'm excited to be on your podcast again.
Fantastic. Talking of viral content, I mean, Bobrow, you kicked off viral content in the beginning of the internet. You had this viral celebration.
Not that old.
Ping pong celebration. It was like in 2008, 2009. Millions of views. I mean, talk to us about that.
Oh, man. So in American football, there are all these buff dudes that are like the epitome of testosterone and adrenaline that like would score a touchdown and then they would do like these really girly moves. And I love that juxtaposition. I think there's nothing greater than like surprising people in that way. And it was hilarious and it was awesome. And I feel like it took incredible confidence. And I thought, I will never be in the NFL, but I think I could do some girly dance moves. I thought that'd be really funny. So I thought, since I'll never be in the NFL, what if I just sort of brought people into my world? I love table tennis. What if I went like way over the top?
What, way over the top?
Way over the top. I'm like, to the point that not only would there have been a fine in the NFL, but I probably would have been kicked off the team. So that was my thinking. And I think, you know, an exaggeration and extremity, comedy lives. So, yeah, the story is, well, I don't know if I've ever told this story.
This is an exclusive.
Okay,
Let's
so,
go.
Man, I was running a tournament. I was running a college tournament, and I thought this is the most people I've ever had together at once. There were like 100 students there, and most of them had left already. Nah, maybe not most. Let's say 30 to 40%. So I got everyone in the same bleacher. I wanted it to look as packed as possible. I had an idea before I came in. I said, sorry, everyone, we're going to stop the tournament for a few minutes before it's over. Just going to ask a favor. And I explained the idea. I said as much as I had to make sure that no one ruined it, and as little as I could to make sure that it was still fresh and natural. And yeah, I tried for like 8 minutes to get a really good point that ended with me behind the table with a counterattack, and it wasn't really working out. And then finally, there was one point. Now, I had a friend who was supposed to play music for me to start dancing. Now, the music didn't start, and I was like, jeez. The point finally came, and the music isn't starting. So the dance starts like this. That was me trying to cue the DJ, play the music.
Please do it now.
And the music wasn't playing, and I was just like, well, it's now or never. So I started doing this, and the anger within me, knowing that it might have been ruined, fueled the entire performance. So I was like, I was not gonna break character for a moment because I was so upset about the music thing that all the way until the headbutt at the end, I was pretty upset. And my cameraman nailed it at zooming in. I told him right when I finished and I'm walking back to the table, I want you to pan to the scoreboard. It was a film student at USC, Carrington. This guy was lovely. He nailed it. And the scorekeeper played it perfectly. And my opponent, he laughed. I was afraid it was ruined. He was way better than me. He was on the US national team for a year. But I didn't even know if I would air it. All these kids were like, I don't get it. What just happened? You can even hear someone cheering for my opponent in the version without music. Someone goes, go Misha. And then everyone laughs because that was a funny thing to do, and it was. I stayed up all night editing it, 7 different drafts, and I asked my brother which one he liked the most, and he told me, and I put it up. And yeah, 2 days later, Failblog had already put it up on their channel, which was a channel. And yeah, it was, I don't know.
I remember watching it as soon as you posted it. I was like, that is insane. It's just so crazy. And back then, you know, table tennis on YouTube wasn't a thing, and viral videos really was quite not really a thing then as well. It's, you know, the early internet, 2009 sort of time. Brilliant.
The funny thing was that night I went to bed and I had like 500 something views on it, and I was like, 500 views.
Yeah.
This is more people than I have friends.
Yeah.
On Friendster. Like, I couldn't believe it. I was like 500, and then I woke up in the morning and it was like 893. I was like, 893? This is crazy. And then at lunch it was 1,200 something, and I was so excited. And I went to play at a club that I managed at UCLA, which is our rival school, and I told the guys, I was like, you won't believe it. This video from the weekend, it's like 1,200 views, and that was a few hours ago. I don't even know where it is now. And I went to a computer in the lobby to check, and it was at 8,000.
Okay, wow. So it's obviously hit somewhere, a website or something.
That was, so at the time I was just like, what's happening?
Yeah,
like an
something's
earthquake.
picked it up.
Something happened, and I was like, this is beyond, and I didn't know. And then by the end of the day, it was 50,000, and that was like, it's a really trippy thing. I don't know, now as all of us as content creators, it's really exciting when something catches a wave or gets out of the stratosphere of the usual.
Absolutely.
Anyway.
Now talking of content, now you have 1.3 million subscribers on YouTube, which is an incredible feat.
Thanks. The Shorts channel actually also just hit 500,000 the other day.
Well done.
I don't know when this is going to air. Hopefully it's 501,000.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Go follow Adam Bobrow Shorts channel, guys. Fantastic. But yeah, amazing. And as I say, great to have you on the show.
Thanks.
I mean, yeah, it's everything that you've done for table tennis, obviously. I suspect, we haven't spoken about this, but I suspect we have exactly the same goal as you, which is bring this amazing sport and all the superstars that are in it, the amazing, funny people, bring it to mainstream media in all its glory and let people just fall in love with table tennis.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I mean, the way we do it is going to be, that's why, 1, we're here, 2, why I'm here and thrilled, and 3, I mean, Table Tennis Daily, just to give you guys some props where deserved. You guys are the original gangsters. You guys were the predecessors. I think even before Pongfinity really took off, I think we all watched you and from the blog and the forum, and I know you've been a wonderful resource and are still very incredibly well respected anywhere anyone who knows anything about table tennis is.
I appreciate that, man. I appreciate it. And it's great that what everyone is doing now in terms of pushing the content to the next level, the outdoors content, the street content, and just actually engaging with everyone in the world rather than just, let's say, table tennis players.
Yeah, I think it's an important thing. Table tennis, it's funny, everyone's telling me about different sports that involve rackets or paddles or things like that, and you should get into it. You'd love this, you'd love that. And I'm like, I love table tennis. And it's the spin, I don't know. I just think that table tennis, if you don't play with spin and you haven't yet, you haven't even begun to taste the rainbow. It's not a Skittles commercial, but if we need sponsors, just saying, talk Skittles.
Let's go Skittles.
I do think that the spin is where it's at for me. That's when the game becomes magic. You can make the ball curve, all these things that you guys know well, that it's really tough to communicate to someone who loves ping pong and has only played on a cruise ship or at their uncle's house. So there's this giant gap between recreational players and the finite number that play tournaments. So I'm thinking if we can sugarcoat it a bit, which I think we've all done in different ways, is just to bring more people in a very welcoming way. I don't like this, it's not ping pong, it's table tennis. It's like, okay, well, what you call it whatever you want. Whiff waff, it's fine. Just play and enjoy. Yeah. Like, come with us. You'll love it. I think I think I'm excited, and you're right. Our goals are absolutely aligned.
Let's go.
That leads me on to probably a next question, which is, do you think table tennis, at least in the Western world, is the most underappreciated, misunderstood sport there is? There was, I'll just say, in the UK, they ran a poll.
Recently, wasn't it?
Massive poll after the Paris Olympics. Which sports do you think you could, if you started training right now, could you compete at 2028? 9% of adults in the UK genuinely believe that if they started training now, they could compete at table tennis.
Yeah, I can't speak to the most misunderstood sport because I haven't considered all the sports, and there are tons of sports I don't know. I do feel that there's sort of, as I was saying about the spin, there's more than meets the eye. And just in terms of space, if you play it like a proper player instead of the way I play, you don't take up so much space. So I think people are like, oh yeah, I don't have to run so far, I don't have to move so much, the table's small. Yeah, I can understand it. Was 9% the top, or was there anything?
No, there was a few, some of the shooting events, which you'd naturally think would be up there.
It's quite static, I suppose.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of some of the others. I think
curling?
Curling might have been up there. That would be a
Okay.
good suggestion. I think there was something ridiculous like long jump as well, where you're thinking,
What?
Yeah,
Yeah.
these guys jumped the length of this
There's
room.
no
and it's a
way.
big
What on
room.
earth? Who on earth, just even the speed they come into the long
exactly.
jump with, like no one on earth can run that fast
you
unless
need to
they're
be a top
sprinting.
sprinter. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
You are right about the spin in table tennis. It's magical, and that you've almost created your own style. You've got an attacker, you've got a defender, you've got choppers, and you've got the Bob Race style, right? And it's so unique. And I still don't know to this day how you do some of the snakes you pull off. Like I'm like, how's he done that? Like I try and do it and catch the spin, and it jumps like mad. You know, you've mastered it, and I think because you've done it so much, you've just got very good at doing these wigglies and these snakes.
Thanks.
They are awesome.
I think when you're not especially good at table tennis and you don't play to make a living, like winning, you can focus on anything you want. So if I had a coach or any team that I was playing for, there's no way I could put as much time and effort and attention into it. But no, thank you.
Because there's a lot of pros out there where we've done videos with, and they, you know, they literally can do the banana flicks and do everything perfect, but they can't do trick shots, they can't do wigglies or anything because they're just so trained into that way, right?
So that was quite interesting in the training hall this week when we were spending some time with the players. A lot of them, we grabbed hold of them and said, okay, yeah, it'd be great to do a little trick shot with you around the net, a roller or something. And almost every single one of them was like, oh, I'm not great at the round the net trick shots. I can play really well, but trick shots, it's not really my thing. But then within 2 minutes, they nailed it.
Yeah, I have this theory. I don't like running in like going where there's competition. I feel like one great way to not succeed is to put yourself in the most competitive environment possible. Like you want a job, don't apply for the one that everyone's applying for. So for me, like, you know, haters welcome, but there'll be people that are like, why don't you play like a normal player? It's like, you'd have no idea who I am ever, and I would have no one watching table tennis if I played like everyone else, because I would just blend in, except I'd be way worse. And I don't know, it's like my clothing. I don't wanna be everyone else, I wanna be me. And there are things that I do horribly, you know, I have tons of weaknesses in my game. You've exploited them on many occasions.
Yeah.
But yeah.
When's the rematch?
That's a great question. I need to start playing again.
We need to get you training well and then come play against a TTD team. We'll do some sort of
That
fun.
would be some video, yeah.
That would be fun.
Everyone's asking it, you know. And
Yeah.
you don't have to, we don't know, maybe we do like a snake challenge or something. Or I don't know.
I'm open to anything. I think right now it's just, as you know, I woke up
You're a
for
busy
this
man.
and it's well in the afternoon. The night before last, it was 9 a.m. I went to bed and woke up at 4:20. So I feel like I barely played it all. My friends are like, but you play so much. I'm like, just every time you watch a video, I'm not actually playing it again. Like, you know, I'm not getting
get you.
exercise because you hit replay. But yeah, I'd love to be back. And with the ping pod out in Bristol, I think
That's
there's
a great shout.
even more even more reason for me to get there sooner than
Yes.
later. And is it 2026 in England, the World Champs?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That would make a lot of sense, yeah.
There's also a big tournament coming to London next year as well, which I'm assuming with your commentary job. you
I
could
have no
be
idea.
here in town. I might have broken some breaking news there that we might have to cut, but yeah.
Oh, well, I'll be honest. I really never know. I just got a contract about a few days ago for Macau, which
So you're going to Macau after UTT?
I'm taking my luggage to the finals and going straight from the airport.
When did that switch happen from kind of internet sensation into then the actual official role of commentary? Do you remember when that was?
Sort of the other way around.
Okay.
In some sense, that's what's the funny thing. Whenever, you know, I commentate at the Olympics for a second time and some people are like, I can't believe they got a YouTuber to commentate. It's like, I can't believe a commentator got a YouTube channel. In 2014, I auditioned for the voice of table tennis and it worked out. There was less competition than in 2011 when Seb Holland and Johnny Cowan got it. So 2015, it became sort of full time for me. And in 2017, Emil from Pongfinity we were chatting in Czech Republic, and he's like, "Yeah, you know, I think you would do good on YouTube. You should have a YouTube channel." And that's a terrible impression. Anyway, I'm like, "That's a spicy meatball." He's Italian. Anyway, he talked to me about it in 2018. He was like, "Really?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm thinking about it." And he gave me some strong words of encouragement. And in 2019, I revived my dormant YouTube channel. So while in 2009 there was the excessive ping pong celebration, if you look at my channel, everything pre-2019 was 2015 or before.
Yeah.
And it goes way back. I mean, I remember when someone told me about YouTube, I was in a college library and they're like, you can put your own videos online. I was like, you mean like eBaum's World? And they're like, no, like you don't have to get it approved. You can just put your stuff up. So I put up, there are videos of me attacking. There are videos of me doing stand-up comedy and random stuff. But yeah, commentary is been a thing for me professionally longer than YouTube.
So Adam, obviously you go all over the world for commentary for the WTT events, but right now we're here in UTT. So how does this then compare to doing commentary at WTT events, for example?
It's fascinating. I love it. I come back every year. I haven't missed one yet. It's come close for different reasons. I guess work begets work. So sometimes you have to learn to sort of not say yes to everything that comes your way. But how is it different? Well, one, the environment, it's a team's competition. Normally, I'm not staying for 17 days in a lovely hotel with amazing food. I know where you guys are staying is incredible as well, the Taj. Yeah, the energy is so good. India, I think if you ask Indians what they're raised with, hospitality is a key focus. When you come to India, you can go anywhere and people will give you food. They will welcome you into their homes. It's just like the nicest people. And yeah, that's more than half of the league. I mean, that's the entire staff outside of one dude who excessively celebrates sometimes, and then a handful of other cool YouTubers and who come in here and there. But yeah, the environment, the vibes, the pyro, the music. Oh, I learned new.
That's great.
Yeah.
Oh, so we were with the Beast. The Beast has flown home now, but he was here for some of the team challenges and stuff. And when the music got played after some of the teams win or they win the set in between, and the Beast was like, "This is my favorite ever song. This is amazing. I like the." He was so excited. He was loving the music.
Yeah, he was using Shazam to get the song.
Yeah, he was catching all of them. He's going to have his on the playlist on the way back to Germany. He's just going to be dancing to all the songs.
Every day for me, the same. Shazam, yeah. Talba is the one that's stuck in my head every day right now. No, India's, it's very special. It's actually the first place I ever traveled outside of North America.
Oh, really?
Wow.
Yeah, when I was in college, a guy who started USC's ping pong posse with me said, "Hey, you want to come to my aunt's wedding?" And I was like, yeah. And like, I embraced the whole thing and it was wonderful. And I was like, you can just smile at somebody here and make their week. It's the best feeling to just talk to strangers and engage with people. And I had reverse culture shock coming back to the US because it's quite different. But India's a lot more than just what the news makes of it. Like, there's rich, deep culture here, and there's so many different religions, beliefs, lifestyles, people. I don't know. There's creativity. There's artwork. There's everything you've heard about, and there's everything you haven't heard about. It's just amazing to be here.
It is incredible place.
And of course, you've been to so many different types of events. There was T2 back in the day, UTT, WTT. If you could manage an event, say, how would you go about, let's say, the rules? At UTT, it's best of 3. It's really cool. I like the idea of the team.
Golden Point,
Golden
you got here
Point.
as well.
I love Golden Point. I think that's
Teams,
genius because sometimes matches can go to 18 or it can drag out, right?
Somebody just win.
Yeah, just who's going to win this? But getting a Golden Point, it's just so much great pressure. And I don't know what your thoughts are on that. And
Yeah, I agree. When MLTT did its first season in the US, they had a similar idea, and I was like, let's call it Golden Point. I really like this. In India, it works incredibly well. It's so intense. I think a lot of people in the table tennis world, and I know with your channel, people are going to hate this, and that's okay with me. But people are traditionalists. There are a lot of us. And change is uncomfortable for people. I think there are a lot of people, the camera angle. We'll never stop. I don't know if we'll never stop, but we're still hearing about it.
Sure.
It's never bothered me. I actually like it. I think every camera angle has its own
merits. And
yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. There are a lot of things you can see from one perspective that you can't see from another. And for any given point, one camera angle is going to show it off the best. But in terms of Golden Point, yeah, tennis has, some long matches, some really long matches that never end. Golden Point for me is amazing. It's good for TV because you can plan. I mean, for sponsors and getting people to invest in your program. I think people need to think critically about what will draw in new viewers, what will make it exciting for people that might not understand, what will inspire people to play more, watch more, and also what will sell more. People always say, what's up with the prize money? More prize money. That's not really a solution. It's an idea. How to get there is a very different story. And for almost anything any spectator has considered, the people who get paid to do this full time have stayed up late nights till the sunrise thinking about what could actually accomplish these goals.
sure.
So I think that's important, but back to your question, I have ADHD, so I tangent quickly. I've never been diagnosed because I can't sit still long enough to take the test. But I do think that it's important that we adapt some of these new ideas. I think Pyro is wonderful. I think the best times I've had at UTT is when they fill the stadium. And on and off, depending on who's playing, if it's the Chennai Lions, there's going to be a bigger crowd. I think for the semifinals and the finals this season, obviously they've put a lot of attention into the field of play, into the production. There are an infinite amount of things to consider when you're making production, and you don't have an infinite amount of time. So they've put more time and focus, it appears to me, into the production and the field of play. And it's the prettiest it's ever looked.
It looks awesome.
I mean, we're in the crowd loving it, and I like the way things are changing quickly. You got mixed doubles, and there's a lot of changes in the matches, which makes it engaging when you're watching. You know, a lot going on.
I couldn't agree more. I mean, we spotted just a tiny little thing that probably doesn't bother 99% of the world, but just the umpires not having an old scoreboard that they flip over and then do this each point.
And it's got a nice LCD panel on the wall. It's
beautiful. So much more modern. Yeah,
so modern. Yeah, and even like the cage, how you got the cages outside.
Yeah, it's wrapped.
It's wrapped in like LCD panels, right? And it just looks so cool. Yeah. It just makes it so modern.
Also, going back to what Adam said, I think like you have to innovate to try to make the sport better, to grow it, right? And actually, a lot of the players that we spoke, players and coaches in the teams here in UTT, were all saying like it's great. You know, like obviously change can be hard. Like you said, we've got the traditionalists, but it has to have something different, unique to grow and get a different audience to bring people in, you know?
Yeah, I think constantly experimenting is a thing. Season 1 was very different than now. You know, they've shortened it up big time, less players. This is the first time we've had more teams. But yeah, all these innovations I think are wonderful in terms of changes that happen to international table tennis. I think I'm open to them more than most. If I were competing, I remember when the ball went from 38 to 40. And I remember when it went from 40 to 40 plus. I played a tournament and I lost to somebody that I, with all due respect, felt like this should be a walk in the park for me. And I'm like, I'm going to take 6 months and just practice with this new ball before I play another tournament. And then everything was back on track. So I understand why people are adverse to change. But if you want different results,
you can't stand still, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, you just can't. I was just going to come back to something we kind of discussed earlier, but Adam obviously traveling everywhere, and Dan, you were saying a story about obviously you guys have kind of bumped into each other at different events in all around the world in the past, and you were saying, you know, it's quite hectic as Table Tennis Daily, and I've got to bring all this equipment with me, and you rock up thinking you've got a lot of bags, and then Adam comes around the corner and he's got like 7 bags, big suitcases, backpacks. So we just kind of wanted to like dig into you a bit more and like the lifestyle of the commentary and the traveling and kind of what is it like, you know, basically just getting an insight to that really.
Man, I'm an ambitious guy. I just think like you could call it greedy if you want. I want to experience almost everything shy of like super painful experiences. Yeah. I don't know. I just have so much that I want to do in life, so much that I want to try. I'm incredibly curious, and that's part of the reason I love traveling so much. I discover so much and about people, about the world, about myself through other people in these interactions. It's odd because I consider myself a bit of a minimalist. Like if you saw my apartment, you'd laugh.
Really?
Yeah, you'd laugh. I have someone coming to visit me from Singapore, and she said something about, you know, where we'd stay, or I don't even think I said, you know, there's not room for 2 here. And she said something about, well, maybe I could sleep on your couch. And I was like, that's hilarious. I don't have a couch. I don't. I bought a yoga ball recently to try and improve my posture when I'm really cool. Sitting in chairs for, 20 hours a weekend.
Good point.
But yeah, in terms of stuff with me, I like to be prepared for everything. And I can't be, but I don't know. This is part of the reason my apartment's small. I don't think you need to own, like the modern rich, I think experiences are better than things.
100% agree, yeah. 100%.
George Carlin said, there are a lot of people who've come before me and even before George Carlin that have talked about, if you own too many things, your things start to own you.
I think there's a famous interview with Bob Marley as well. And the guy asks him, interviewing him, he says, are you rich? He goes, you mean rich as in possessions, money in the bank? Does that make you rich? You know?
Right.
Rich in love, I think he says.
Rich in love, rich in experiences, like Adam said.
Yeah, so for me, I think, man, the life. I don't know. I believe sleep is very important, so I try to get enough every night. I believe exercise is important, so I try to squeeze some in where I can and try to walk stairs instead of take elevators unless it's, the 12th floor of a building, in which case I mix it up.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess in terms of travels and commentary, I'm trying to think critically about a lot of things. I really enjoy commentary for a lot of reasons, but it's partially because I feel like I'm just at the epicenter of my favorite people. I'm watching my favorite sport. I'm surrounded by people that are smart, that are kind, that are global. I mean, table tennis fans automatically, in my opinion, are overwhelmingly just well-cultured. They've heard names from all around the world. I still get messages like, how is Kall shell? How is that shell? How is that shell? And I'm like, well, let's type it into Google Translate with the little 2 dots over the A and play it back. Exactly. Anyway, yeah, so commentating's a blast, but I want to think what will actually make the greatest positive impact. I'm not going to live forever. Nobody is, to my knowledge. And I want to leave something great behind, and I want to enjoy the process. So I want to do as little of the things that suck and as many of the things that I love as possible. And that involves building a team. That involves sometimes outsourcing or relying on other people or trusting people that they're going to get better at something than you are. Maybe I've been doing something for 10 years already and someone's new to it, but then after a few months they've passed me by and I'm like, man, am I glad I allowed them to do that. You can't be in control of everything. You never can, really. Right. So I don't know, it's a learning process, but my life just involves, I feel like I'm constantly spinning 10 plates. I mean, I woke up this morning and I checked my phone from 10 different apps. You know, there's a proposal from someone in China related to social media. There's someone in Linz, Austria who's like, can we have you here? And then there's an advisor saying you need to reply to this. And then there's a film in the United States. And it's just all these things, all of which are supposed to be top of the priority list. It suits my personality with ADHD, but it also, I need to learn how to relax at some point.
Do you have a PA? Someone to manage all this for you?
No. I have a person who has been alongside me for a while, who's helped me in my YouTube endeavors. When I did a Facebook Live back in the day and said, I'm going to need an editor. And 3 people volunteered, and one of them became my editor.
Amazing.
And I saw he didn't like it, and so I basically said, outsource it. And so we did. It took him time, but he did.
That was definitely a good move from you that you did that early on, because obviously you've got all the commentary stuff going on, etc., and you managed to create your videos without you essentially doing it, you know, early on.
Yeah, it still takes a lot of work. I mean,
back and forth revisions and stuff.
Yeah, I'm really picky. I'm really nitpicky about stuff, and I think it's important because otherwise, you know,
you have to be, right.
Because
I mean, Dan is exactly the same, right?
I was going to say that.
It's
sorry, guys.
But it's a trait you kind of need, right? So to create good content.
For sure. Yeah.
Out of all of the matches that you've commentated, is there one that kind of stands out that was the perfect mix of maybe the crowd, the points, the pressure of the moment?
For a guy who gets this question so much, you'd think I'd have a clear answer. One, I mean, the Ma Long Fanzhendong 2017 Dusseldorf men's singles final was amazing. Yeah. I really liked the Women's World Cup final in 2017 in Markham, I think, in Canada. I hope I got the city right, but it was Zhu Yuling and Liu Shiwen because there was some controversy. Man, I like upsets. I don't know. There have been a lot of good ones. For me, the semifinals in Tokyo were incredible matches. The semifinals.
Dima, Ma Long.
That was one, and Lin Wenru and Fan Zhendong didn't fall far behind, 11-8 in the 7th.
Yeah, and then the bronze medal match as well was crazy, wasn't it?
Yeah.
They keep, Dima and Lin Wenru, right. Yeah, they keep getting better. I don't know. The Olympics this time around was spectacular. I woke up to the news about Wang Chuqin. Someone, when I walked into we commentate from a different venue, and someone's like, the news, Don Parker actually was like, hey, you heard the news about Wang Chuqin? It was like, yeah, what's up with that, the photographer? Oh, what a heartbreaking story. He's like, no, he got beaten by trolls. And I flipped out.
It's insane.
If they had filmed my reaction, I was just like considering.
It would have gone viral.
Oh my, yeah, well actually same with Harry Fairchild when I did your thing.
That was amazing.
I sort of wish, that was a ton of fun. But that was a good sort of random, good reaction out of nowhere.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
So, Adam, where do you see yourself then in 5 years? You've got a fast-changing lifestyle. Everything's always rapid fire.
I don't know, and I don't know how much I care. Meaning, I care that I'm happy and that I'm healthy. I think this is important. I hope that wherever I am in 5 years, whether it's 1.36 million or whether it's 13.6 million, that I listen to my mom when she wants to tell me about which tomato is ripest on the vine or how book club was, and that I listen to my brother and sister like we share. I just think it's important to be a good friend, a good family member, all that. I hope that I'm staying super creative. I hope that I'm enjoying the process. I will hope that I have outsourced and learned to give up control enough and invest in things that are hard. I'm working really hard right now. And as an advisor says, hard now, easy later. Nice. It's a fine balance because I could die tomorrow. I don't know. I hope not to. I plan not to, but it's not all in my control. So I want to enjoy every day and know that when I'm working hard, it's not for nothing, and that it is to stop and smell the roses, that money is not the most important thing, that sometimes trying a new flavor of tea or having a food you've never had or talking to someone you've never heard a perspective from. 5 years from now, let's see. I'm very open to possibility, and I believe in me. Mm-hmm. It sounds like I'm not a professional player, and I know that. I know my limitations, my weaknesses, but I think it's important to trust yourself. Those are wise words from my high school theater teacher, and I believe that for everybody out there, that you can trust yourself, and self-doubt is healthy, and nervousness and critical thinking, even about your own, I'm critical of myself. But yeah, I believe in 5 years, if I'm alive, it should be pretty awesome, and I hope I'm really enjoying it and sharing it with everyone I can to encourage and empower, and hopefully, like you guys, help grow the sport.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, some good advice there. Yeah, some really good advice there, guys. So, well, we'll wrap it up there. Adam, thanks so much for your time. That was awesome. Great to chat with you. Hope you guys enjoyed it.
It's been brilliant. Thanks so much, Adam.
Thanks for having me, TTD.
No worries. We'll see you guys next time.